and welcome to BTB Podcast with me, Baron. And joining me today is Cammy.
Roger.
And Xander.
What up?
Yes. And today we couldn't get Thrawns, but we are announcing the opening of our Bacta Bois Discord. So if you want to join in and give your hot takes, then be sure to follow the link in the description.
I have a Duck Dodgers emote server, so join that too.
Yes. So, starting us off, we're going to go through the Mandalorian behind the scenes that's been shown, and after that, talk about the lifespan of Battlefront 2, Jedi Fallen Order experiences, Project Maverick leak, and then end it off with a look at the Snyder Cut and some, takes on that. But starting us off, like I said, Mandalorian behind the scenes. So, Baby Yoda could have been pretty fat, it turns out.
Chunky boy, indeed.
I mean, it looks kind of disgusting, but it also looks kind of like more what I think of what a Baby Yoda would look like, I guess. Because of the hair and the general alienness, I guess.
Yeah, if you look at Yoda, he doesn't exactly like bode like cuteness.
The
very,
one thing you gotta give them credit for about like just Baby Yoda's final design is that it looks way different from like actual Yoda, because some of the other concept art they had in there, he had like a pointier head like Yoda does, and I'm so glad they didn't try to make it look exactly like Yoda.
Yeah. I think it's also kind of cool that they had it be like kind of animatronic, so it's not like obvious CGI thing. Like it still has like that old Star Wars kind of feel to it, where like you can kind of tell it's being like puppeteered.
Yeah.
So has a nice charm to it, I think.
John Favreau
CGI Yoda doing backflips and hitting a plastic Christopher Lee.
Yeah. Just do flips and turns and pretend there's this little green dude. You'll be all set.
Christopher Lee's looking at nothing, and it's attacking him. Oh no, my friend! This is madness. They've gone too far.
But yeah, I mean, I think someone in another server I was in made a joke that one of the unused Yoda designs will become a new Dave Filoni character, just because he loves the concept art.
Rebels 2.
Yodel.
His name will be Younger.
Yesoka.
Actually, I wonder if we can talk about that a little bit. The whole like Rebels 2 thing.
No, I'm not done about Baby Yoda. I'm trying to tell you guys that Jon Favreau almost didn't do it, but then he's just like, you know what? It's Star Wars, and Star Wars looks like shit, so let's make a puppet that moves and looks really fake, but captivating at the same time. And then we'll have all the actors act around it.
The marketing department came in and said, like, hey, we can make a lot of merch money if we include this, alright?
Until
it's like, oh, alright.
Until they didn't have any merch. Yeah. I still think a lot of the merch isn't out yet.
And there was something, right?
Mandalorian merch, or?
Yeah, I think it was like some Baby Yoda plush that they announced, but...
Oh, have you guys seen...
They haven't really stepped on top of that.
Baby Yoda Monopoly? that exists.
What?
Does it really?
Yes, it's so fucking stupid. Like, all the pieces are just Baby Yoda, yeah.
Why?
It's like the ultimate cash cow.
Yeah, I mean that I feel like that's just one of the things about Monopoly at this point, that they were just like, hey, what's kind of like brand thing we can do for Monopoly?
Oh, geez, the board has just got like his little orb that he floats in and trying to stretch out as many locations as they can. Location being a very stretch word right here. But...
Yeah.
The thing is, though, they could have made a board about the Mandalorian, like how it says on the box, but it's just Baby Yoda. Like I like Baby Yoda. He's cute and all, but like he's getting to the point where it's getting like kind of disgusting with like the merch. Cause like, who the fuck would buy this?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's because it's become a meme and a viral sensation because of how streamed Mandalorian, or maybe the Mandalorian was streamed so much because of him. that it's just a bit. I don't want to use the word normie, but like I don't know. It feels like he's no longer a Star Wars character. He's just kind of a internet trend or something.
Yeah, he became like the most searched Star Wars character ever the other day.
Oh, man. And yet only like 2% of people call him the child. I won't, because it's not. Well.
It's not the child. His name is Baby Yoda, and I won't let fucking Disney try and dictate otherwise.
They got to give him a name at some point, just to.
Yeah, I mean, if they come up with like a species name or like any kind of thing about who they are, because like until then that's just what people are gonna call it. Because Yoda and Yaddle are like the only two others we saw.
They can name him after the Yoda species guy that speaks perfectly normal basic in the Old Republic.
Oh no, cursed.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he
Obama.
He appears as like a Jedi holocron thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, and there's like I think there's one mission where he's like actually like has like longer dialogue and he's like on a hologram and he's just speaking perfectly normal basic. I forgot his
think
name.
it was in SWOTOR, because you're talking about SWOTOR, right?
No, yeah.
Okay, because I remember seeing one from KOTOR as well.
Oh,
so it might be like... Yeah.
His name is Oteg.
Yeah, that might be the same one.
The one from KOTOR is like kind of like skin colorish, not green.
Yeah.
This is Oteg.
Oh no! Yeah.
It's one necky boy.
It's when they're kind of like short humans instead of like a puppet, I guess. Really register.
Yeah. And that's basically how they make like all the characters for SWOTOR, just like a human
body
model, and then they just stick a head on top.
Yeah. I know. I think it's. I never really liked Yaddle being around because I was like, oh, Yoda's a really exclusive member of his species, but there happens to be another member of his species who's also a Jedi, who's in the same Jedi Council in the same time as him, and it's just kind of. Well, I guess he lives a long time, so, but I don't know.
I forgot if it was Filoni or someone else who was saying like, oh yeah, I didn't know that Yaddle existed or something, or that Yaddle was a girl, because it's not like, oh, that's another guy, but like now she's.
Yeah.
To be honest, could you blame them?
I can't remember
like
her being.
They don't do anything.
I've only seen like a season of Clone Wars, but I can't remember her being in it. So. But maybe she'll probably be forgotten, swept under the rug.
What do you mean Yaro Poof is a character? Who the fuck is that?
The best robot chicken character ever.
I still think that short is canon, where he like escapes Coruscant and just like works on the Death Star as a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
like,
that's canon.
Works at the omelette station or something.
Yeah.
Those parodies are great.
You dirty, dirty smuggler.
Alright, so moving on to a bit of an older one, but it checks out. Battlefront 2 ending, or had its final patch a while back, so it had a good run compared, like, I've heard a lot of people talk really negatively about it. It's like, oh man, it's awful if you left the game like that, but like, personally, like, they could have done like a couple of the other studios and just like kind of left it as is from launch, but they did a lot of changes to it, so I'm glad at least that they supported it for so long.
Yeah, especially since it's like free. Besides the Celebration Edition, it's mostly free content that you just I didn't really expect to be as frequent as it was. I guess it's just when that ends, you suddenly think, oh well, that's all the potential that there was for more free content. It's just sadly not going to come to fruition, I guess.
And then there's the people that turned around and said like, hey, we want to petition them to add paid content, and then it was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's what started this whole like debacle, is that when they did loot boxes.
It comes full circle.
Yeah.
I feel like,
I found it. Sorry.
I was saying, like, I feel like they probably would have had more in store for us if the game had actually launched properly and it didn't just like kind of squander itself and like barely pick itself out with the Last Jedi update.
I think I joined when I bought the game. It was like February 2018, so that update had already happened. But like, it still seems like quite a lot. But I found that the petition was at first like it seemed kind of like just a harmless little thing. But then the guy running the Twitter account kept tweeting at Ben Walk like every time he tweeted, like, "Oh, this is the petition." Like, 2,000 people have signed it.
Got fucking
just
pissed.
responds saying,
like, "Dude, shut the fuck up."
Yeah, like he says, like the team have seen this, but again, it's not our call, so please stop tweeting it. Next day, he tweets it again. Like,
we got him to notice it. We have to keep going.
that was literally a post on the Reddit though, where it's like, he's noticed it. We're halfway there. I don't know.
Halfway, they're living on a prayer.
Something like that. Like we're one step closer, and it's just, it's maybe one step on a very long road that you can't see the end of, I guess.
One day he'll have to realize it's not like it's the Snyder Cut. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of,
it's like
no.
yeah, I'll get to that later. But I mean, at least on PC, like there's still a fair amount of content that people are still keeping up with. So like, even though it's still gonna be offline content, I think it's still nice to see like people making like a Kanan Jarrus mod or a Ahsoka mod or things like
Nude
that.
Leia mod.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess like it's all cosmetic, and I think most of the time you can use it without getting banned, maybe. But yeah, I think it's weird to think that like Ahsoka, she was made as like this really detailed mod, but I guess she'll never get added as the real character. I don't know. I guess people were expecting it. It's
Yeah, I mean, people were kind of expecting it because of the voice lines recorded, because they had Matt Wood in the studio. So they're like, hey, we're going to record a bunch of these lines.
Oh, yeah.
And so then when people found it in the file, it's just like, oh, yes, Ahsoka confirmed, she's coming. Yes.
I mean,
And they're just like, no, it's placeholders. And everybody goes like, you can't fool us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the situation was that EA wanted the DICE to make the new Battlefield game because they still consider that franchise like a good money cash grab or whatever. And I think I heard something along the lines of people at DICE, they were massive Star Wars fans, they loved working on this game, and they would have gladly kept working on it for as long as they were paid to. But they just, because of the nature of the situation, they just had to like call it a day after the best Scarif update. Something tells me that if EA had kind of just stepped back a bit, then we could have gotten a new wave of like original trilogy content with Ahsoka and Thrawn and all this other stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, it is one of those decisions where I think, like, Battlefield 6 said they kind of wanted all hands on board for it. Because they wanted, like, hey, we're going to have this next-gen release because, you know, Battlefield 5 is not doing well and Battlefront 2 is not making money, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's something I totally get, especially since I don't think they're going to announce it on June 4th for all the other PS5 games, but there's surely going to be like a next-gen Battlefield game. It's like, oh, hey, look at all this ray tracing and fast load times and stuff. So
yeah, and hold out hope for Battlefront 3 once again.
The cycle repeats.
This time, guys, we're going to load it with a campaign, and we're not going to put in microtransactions, but we are going to make you work for your content.
Yeah. Hopefully that they'll have learned from like all the stuff that's happened, and it won't just be like repeats.
They'll go back to having season passes.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to like, as good as like Battlefront 2 turned out to be, it'd be good to get a game like that was just solid from the beginning, that didn't have loads of people. I mean, it's Star Wars fans, so there's always going to be requests for new things. But a game that's just like, oh hey, this is good. Game of the year, maybe. But you know,
remove Anakin.
It was like one of those things where it was, you know, they release ARC Trooper and it's like, oh, where's Clone Commandos? And then like, yeah, Clone Commandos come, because
where's Droid?
That's like it just comes to that point where like everyone just starts asking, and the dev's like, oh, okay, here it is.
And I mean,
But, yeah.
something like Ahsoka is definitely a justified suggestion, just because she's probably like the most popular that she's ever been at this point, because the whole Clone Wars and like Mandalorian rumors and stuff. But then I just see requests for like Cad Bane and like Asajj Ventress, these characters I don't even know much about. I think, were they really going to get in anyway?
Maybe. Like, if they didn't have any other more popular movie characters to work on, maybe, but...
Yes, Plo Koon and Mace Windu. Add them now.
No, shut up. Add Liam Neeson and Jango Fett.
But they're not even alive at the same time. Well, they are, but they're not. They're not. On
They're
the screen.
alive in my heart. And in the video game, they would add them.
I mean, I remember back when they shot down Anakin. It's like, oh yeah, it'd be weird for Anakin to be fighting Vader.
You know.
And meanwhile, like, Rey can defend Kamino. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, that was my thing. Like, that's the one thing that I thought they could instantly like create hype for Battlefront 3 if they brought back the old feature of just being able to play in any map in any era, because at the time they added the Ewoks, I think it was Ben Walk said something like, "Oh yeah, this is not a game about immersion or realism. It's not canon or anything." So I feel like at that point, if it's going to be a case of, oh, none of these battles are canon, then why not just have it in the old system where you could play as clones on Takodana or something, you know?
I think that's going way too far. Kind of reminds me of that,
Clones cannot land on this planet.
it kind of reminds me of that guy who was complaining about the droid skins in the game, like having training droids running around on like Geonosis because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, you give people the choice, I guess. And in offline battles, it's set to their specific skins. So if you face them on Kamino, then it's the training droids.
Yeah.
I can't wait to fight the albino droids.
I mean, like, there is, at least, like, I'll just pull an example for, like, for War Thunder. They have, like, skins in game that are historical, some that are semi-historical, and some that are fictional. And what they do in the settings is you can, like, toggle, like, which ones you want to see. So if you're like, oh, I only want full immersion, like, you can just turn it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's possible for, like, Battlefront or what.
I think... Yeah, I remember them mentioning it at some point, but like it was next to some technical jargon about how difficult to do or something. Probably
like, there is, like, the skin mods that, like, oh, it changes all clone troopers to 501st. Like, I imagine maybe there's something like that for, like, you know, changing every single skin to, like, this or that for whatever planet. But, personal preference for people, you know, that really want immersion in the game where you can use a first order weapon in the Rebellion era or whatever.
Yeah. Fuck immersion, I mean...
Yeah, so onto Fallen Order. It's I mean, like, for me, I don't have much else really to add, I guess, because of the fact that, you know, performance is kind of an issue for me, but, like, the times it does work, it does feel nice being able to parry and have, like, these cool fights and stuff.
Stop talking about Fallen Order. Sekiro is better.
And we don't have Thrawn's here to debate it, yeah.
I like collecting more optional power-ups that are, like, probably used once or twice versus getting ponchos. Who's stinky.
Yeah, it's kind of... I mean, I wonder if that was just, like, an afterthought, if that they wanted a collectible, and it was like, hey, let's just do like, reskins of the poncho. Or if, like, there was actually some plan to do something, like, core creative. Like, maybe, like, different outfits, because, you know, like, people just draw Force Unleashed example, like, you can get, like, so many different outfits and stuff, like, each planet you go to, basically.
I don't think they ever considered that, like, because, like, that's the thing about Disney Star Wars. They would not allow that. They just change the C-3PO, the ultimate killer kind of thing. It has to be like Cal Kestis.
I like how they kind of took inspiration from the ponchos from I think Qui-Gon Jinn when he's on Tatooine, and Luke when he's wearing that kind of, well, when he's wearing a poncho. Because it feels like a very not like on the nose reference to like previous clothes in Star Wars, as opposed to just having him wear like a Han Solo jacket or like a Jedi robe that he hasn't really earned yet, I guess. Which he probably will in the sequel. But
They have Boba Fett and Jango Fett skins for the Mantis, I think.
huh.
They look really ugly though, but I have them anyways just because it looks funny.
And I think the
They
most
look
unique
horrible.
one I've
I
gotten
must
to
have
is, like,
That's me with any game, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
like I think I got like the Republic skin, but then it was like when I equipped it, it's like, oh yes, it turns the Mantis white with some like green and red splotches some places. Like, oh yeah, very Republic.
Huh.
That's not very Republic of you, Paint. Come on. And there's like it reforms
can't
into
even
like
have a
actual
logo.
Republic colors.
I think I saw there was a BD skin called Cantonica, and at first I was like, "What's this?" And then I realized that's the Canto Bight planet, and like I don't know. I think it's just it's nice how there's subtle references to recent and old Star Wars content that makes you think, "Oh, this is connected in a way."
Yeah, I like what they did with like the Ilum thing as well, because like
Oh yeah,
it basically kind of does away with the idea that like Starkiller was just like instantly created, and it was like, yes, the Empire was like here for decades digging the planet out, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the First Order would come along and like, hey, let's install the super laser.
Hey, did you guys see the Easter egg on Elam?
which
The
one?
tribute, the tribute to the guy's father.
Oh no.
When you're climbing the wall to get inside of the temple, at the very 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 top, there's like a little crevice that you can get into, and it has like a hat, I think, and it's like a tribute to one of the program's dads who worked on, I think, TIE Fighter.
Huh. That's cool. That's cool.
It was like one of those references where they try to make him sound Star Wars, but you can easily just tell it's like somebody's real name.
Oh yeah, I remember because I bought the deluxe edition of the game. Not really sure why I did that, but I guess I did. And no, it's good. But they have all the documentary things in the main menu where it's like the making of, behind the scenes kind of stuff. But I remember because they didn't have like a thing where you could save your progress in the video or like skip to a certain part. You just had to like sit down and watch it all in one sitting. I kind of just like started it and thought, oh, this is nice, and then stopped watching it just because.
Yeah, the bonus.
Someone's gonna upload it to
And
YouTube
someone just goes
and I'll just watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah, the bonus content for Fallen Order was not very good.
I mean, that's at least like the one thing that that was like exclusive if you pre-ordered by this point, right? Because everyone's got the orange lightsaber now and the Bumblebee
Jesus,
thing.
don't even start me on that.
Yeah.
The fact that a game that you pre-ordered to get the orange lightsaber and the skins for the ship and the droid. 2 months later, it's like, oh, we're making this available for everyone, and yet Battlefront 2 still has the Rey and Kylo skins that no one will ever be able to unlock ever again. And it's
Well, you can actually buy them. If you get the one of the deluxe editions for Battlefront 2, you can unlock the skin.
Huh.
But that's like
Oh,
10
yeah.
or $20 extra that you'd have to pay. So
Oh yeah, not really worth it.
it's worth it to
Well, yeah,
me. I want the Rey
didn't-
skin.
But they, am I right in saying they didn't include it in the Celebration edition, even though that came out like 2 years after the base
Yeah.
game? That's I don't know.
I guess they just want to keep it something unique to like, hey, you people that like were still cared about us during all this, we care about you too. You get to keep this for free. Like you keep this to yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind
No
of.
one else can take this from you.
Well, to be honest, I can't even like really care too much about it because it's not like it's like unique to this game. A lot of games have like pre-order skins that they'll never release, like the newer Widowmaker for Overwatch and stuff like that. So yeah, it kind of sucks that one skin is kind of cool and you'll never get to use it. But whatever.
And then like on the flip side, there was some Overwatch skins where like you had to play like Heroes of the Storm and you'd get it, and then like a year later,
Oh, that drive me
they made them, like, in
fucking
loot boxes.
crazy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Because I was actually one of the first people who got like both Officer Diva and Demon Genji. And it's just like, oh, by the way, it's in the base loot box. I'm just, what the fuck do you mean it's in the base loot box? It was back when I didn't have a good PC, so I struggled to get it done. And then it's just like, everybody has, and it's just like, okay, well, fuck, I guess. Well, at least I have Lego Bastion, so fuck you guys.
Yeah, when like a year later, when there's like 5 people playing Overwatch, and be like, hey, I have Lego Bastion, and you guys don't.
But just talking about the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which I think was confirmed, even though it seemed likely from the end of the game, I guess. Which I won't spoil, like, but Unreal Engine 5 was announced, and even though I feel like because the sequel will probably go into development or like pre-development or whatever you call it soon, it feels like that would automatically be on that new engine, maybe, or I don't know.
I mean, like, I don't know if like anyone is like in the know with Unity there, or if they're like, hey, you know, we're working on this Unity 5 thing for you if you want to use it for your next game. But I mean, I would think that they'd say that like yeah, we're using this new technology, and not be like a year later say like, yeah, we have Fallen Order 2 and it's off an older engine.
Yeah. Well, my main
like that's what a lot of
maybe
games
it'll
pride
run
themselves
better.
my
on.
main worry would be that they didn't really optimize the Unreal Engine 4 that well, so it'd be like, I don't know, don't throw the no wait. That's why I say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but that doesn't make sense here. don't throw away the progress they've already made, I guess.
So maybe, I mean, yeah, maybe it is one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, Unreal Engine 5, it's got like better performance or something, so it could be like that sort of thing, maybe.
Hopefully.
But we'll see. Yeah.
I just realized
Yeah.
how Fallen Order got like an exclusive deal on the Epic Game Store because they're both on Unreal Engine. So if you bought the game, you could get like the Stormtrooper skin in Fortnite.
Yeah, I can't wait for when we get around to Fortnite and then we run around with the Imperial Stormtrooper skins flossing on people.
Oh my god. I mean, it's crazy.
You act like I haven't done it already.
I thought like the sort of hatred towards Epic Games and PC players would die down a bit, but just I think it was like a week or so ago, they announced Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, and on PC it's only available on the Epic Store. And I legit went onto the subreddit and saw veterans of this series, people who'd been playing it for years, saying something like, "Oh, I'm not going to get it purely because it's on Epic," and I'm like, "What? Just why?" You know?
Yeah, I mean, the people I've talked to, like, they say, like, their gripe is giving like a whole bunch of companies their credit card info, but I don't know, I don't really see that.
You give
especially like
a lot of people your credit cards. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I've got like there must be like 150 websites that I do that for. What's 151 in comparison, I guess. And I mean, I'll read out my credit card details right now: 492. But
yeah. And plus, like, there is already is stuff like, you know, PayPal and things that you can kind of keep it secure if, you know, you're really worried about it. But I don't know.
There's
some people like to
you can buy
their
prepaid.
guns about.
I think you can buy prepaid cards and use those, and put a limit on, or like put a certain amount of money on them. So you put like 80 quid, and then if someone finds out the number for that, then you'll only lose like 80 quid or something, you know.
Yeah, and plus like most of the banks here, I'm pretty sure they have like online banking that tells you like, hey, this amount of money was spent this day, so you can say like, yeah, I didn't do that, and then boom.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah.
Can I just ask, when are we getting a video game solely based on Marin and Grease?
I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't really know much about the Night Sister lore, but I found that she was quite an interesting character.
I just want to say that the Night Sister
Not just-
zombies have almost like exactly 1-to-1 the exact same like design as the Night Sisters from the Clone Wars, the zombies, and I'm more used to like the zombies from what's it called on the mobile phones? Galaxy of Heroes. They have the Night Sister zombies there, and whenever I saw these zombies, I just thought like of like not of the Clone Wars, but just like of the Galaxy of Heroes model because it legit just like all of them look the same. Like there's no variation in any of them.
Hmm.
So no, that was weird to me.
All right. So wrapping up for gaming, we have a 4chan leak on Project Maverick. So of course, take it with the grain of salt you would, but it says
With a
that
grain of
it's
salt,
a
you would.
but yeah, it basically says that Project Maverick's going to be a free-to-play RTS game with DLCs for separate factions. So sounds interesting if they do kind of go down that route, and if they do kind of do command, because I've heard from some Command and Conquer players that they don't like the new EA ones that came out, but I think that might be because the new one was like a mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a... I don't know how much... I don't know if I'm that into RTS, but it's certainly... If it's free to play, then I'd probably be more likely to give it a go, I guess. So, and it's nice to have variety in the new games being distributed by EA.
Yeah, and like I'm in a small community that also like does some RTS stuff, and a lot of their sentiments seems to be, oh, wait for EA's license to expire before we ask for an RTS because they're gonna ruin it, just like they ruined Battlefront.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but like I said, we'll see.
Are we
But,
getting
if
an
it is,
HD remaster of Galactic Battlegrounds?
I mean, like the one that they hold up a lot is Empire at War and
Oh, that's what I
Ascendancy,
meant.
or yeah, right. So we'll see if they kind of like outdo those, or if it's just like, oh, the old one's better. So wrapping things off, we have some DC news. Kind of a bit of a first on this podcast, but they announced HBO next year, Snyder Cut. It's coming.
As
Don't
you say,
care
the
about
name
Snyder Cut. Give me Looney Tunes, please.
As you say, its name, a heavenly choir descends and just chants.
Yeah. There it is, the Snyder Cut. A movie that doesn't even fucking exist, and they have to make it before it can air on HBO.
I mean, it's like I think people are saying like, oh, it's gonna suck just as much as the original did, but I think it's not really about the quality. I think people just want to see J.J. Abrams' vision for it, and once they finally get that, they can shut the fuck up and move on to greater DC movies like Shazam 2.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess it's kind of wonder like what kind of quality it's going to be at, because I'm almost picturing the Avengers Endgame extras they showed when they did like the re-release about how it's like the pre-visualized Hulk. So I'm wondering like how much of that kind of stuff's going to be.
I don't know if
I
don't know if it'd be like wireframe unshaded characters moving around. I think. Yeah.
I think that'd be funny if that ends up happening. It's like, oh yeah, we didn't really have time to finish it or whatever.
I really like
I'm wondering
Let's
like
see.
the Justice League update that they're doing. I hope they have patch notes.
I'm wondering if like
Fixed a bug where Flash did a loop when he was running.
if it would be like canon or not, or if people even care about the DC canon anymore because of the whole Joker and Batman just kind of spinning off and doing their own little Elseworlds thing.
Yeah, I mean, like DC is one of those universes where it's just like, yeah, that was actually a multiverse thing, so we're gonna go to this new Earth.
Yeah, I mean the whole building up to a Justice League thing could have worked if they actually built up to a Justice League and not just
They
did whatever they
just
did.
kind of rushed it. It's like, hey, Avengers is successful, so let's do Avengers.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm still hoping for like Justice League 2 that introduces the Shazam characters and kind of makes promise on like Darkseid and Deathstroke and stuff, because those are the characters
What
I actually
about
care about.
Cyborg?
Not Steppenwolf. I don't know. Is he still getting a movie? Because I swear it was planned or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the Cyborg movie? Come on, give me the Victor Stone, boys. And he has to say "booyah" every single sentence.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. DC animated things looks like they've been like kicking out of the park.
Are you talking about the famous DC animated movie, Justice League Dark: The Apocalypse War?
Well, I mean, like just in general, like a lot of like the clips and stuff I've seen, they look like they're doing really well.
Oh,
yeah,
you mean the animated series Harley Quinn?
Yes, and how they poked fun at Snyder Cut, and then all of a sudden here it is.
Harley Quinn is what we
It's
needed.
gonna look real. Yeah, because I was looking in the comments to that just to like see what people were saying, and like there's like people commenting about like Last Jedi isn't canon. It's like, oh yeah, it says it because it's true, and it's like, oh okay.
Oh no.
Like, there's just the kind of people that are just like, oh yeah, you know, that's just facts. I don't know what the joke is.
Remember that time where they had a Star Wars duology, a Disney duology? It just went from like The Force Awakens to The Rise of Skywalker. I have no idea where The Last Jedi went, but it's not canon anymore, so...
Don't worry, J.J. Abrams doesn't want to remember The Last Jedi either.
Yeah.
No, remember it. It big good. Me, like, come, bring it back.
Yeah.
Someone I talked to isn't really into Star Wars that much. I think he said like the thing he remembered the most is the light speed jump. He was like, yeah, it's the only thing I remember from the new Star Wars films.
Oh, you mean the hyperspace battering ram?
Yeah.
I love
Fair
that
enough.
fucking video by X Slatterheart talking about like why it's impractical or like why it should have been done before, and it's just like fucking whatever, dude.
And then meanwhile, E.C. Henry is just like, yeah, you know, it just makes sense that, you know, when a big object hits into hyperspace, then it's going to cause some damage. But
Yeah, but it's just like,
because
I think X Slatterheart was more arguing like why hasn't it happened before and like what's stopping them from like getting like empty ships, despite the fact that, you know, the resistance is fucking poor and it's expensive.
Well, that's the thing. There's people kept saying that around the time the film released, but there's that bit where Hux, one of his officers tells them, "Oh, there's a ship ready to go into hyperspace," and he says something like, "Oh, they're just trying to distract us. Ignore it." In reality, if someone tried that again, they'd probably be like, "Yeah, shoot it down." You know, we can avoid that if we just take action. I think he like that line deliberately exists in the film to like give a reason as to why it happened just then, and it was because of Hux's arrogance and like determination to just wipe out the resistance, I guess.
Yeah.
It's almost as if arrogance is a common theme in the Star Wars saga.
Well, why hasn't it happened before?
It's like the bad guys are set up to lose.
It might have happened. I don't know. Something
Maybe
about
it happened
experimental
during the
shielding
famous
as well.
hyperspace war.
But like, I don't know. I still don't think it's this massive plot hole that it was made out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I've heard some people say, I don't know too much about like the lore of hyperspace jumping, but like they say like, oh yeah, it goes to an alternate dimension and like creates a warp to travel between two places. But
No, I don't think that's how it works because the fucking Kanan Jarrus wolf did that. And the fucking Purgle from Rebels too. So you mean to tell me there's like extra dimensional space whales that can just jump whenever they want?
yeah, it's a bit.
Star
Wars lore gets a bit weird, Ben.
Filoni, you
Into it,
mad
yeah.
bastard.
And plus, there's like you have to calculate a jump, so like you have to make sure you're not getting like in front of anything when you're jumping.
Yeah.
People big dumb.
They're just gonna complain about anything.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think that's gonna do it for this podcast. If you're interested in joining the next one, then look at the Discord link in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.
Farewell.